Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about vinyl records that are increasing in value and vinyl records that are decreasing in value. And a lot of it has to do with events that are taking place that are beyond our control. So, first off, I just want to say one of the most common comments I get when I talk about values of vinyl records is a lot of you say, I don't really care what the value of a record is. I buy it to listen to it. I'm with you. That is exactly why I'm into it. Let's face it, if we were into it as an investment, we'd be selling right now because vinyl is at an all-time high. This is the time to sell your records if you're in it for an investment. We're not in it for an investment, but I also think it's important to know what your records are worth. You know, if you ever do get in a financial pinch for whatever reason, and you have some valuable records that you never listen to, I think it's important that we know what they're worth. So that's really at the heart of why I want to make these videos. I think, you know, if you watch my channel, I consider you a friend, and we're all in this together when it comes to vinyl collecting. So it's important that we know what a record is worth. I'm not saying we should be gouging other people, but it's not the responsibility of a buyer to tell the seller what a record's worth. So we have to be knowledgeable and know what something is selling for. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. It really helps my channel and I appreciate your support. Let's go ahead and get started. And first off, I just got to get this one over with because it's so sad and so tragic. But sometimes vinyl records increase in value because an event has taken place that has really shocked a lot of people. So of course, I have to mention the untimely passing of the incredible drummer Taylor Hawkins from the band Foo Fighters. He was a very impressive drummer. He seemed like a really nice guy. He also was a great singer and he had a beautiful smile. He had that Greg Allman kind of look going for him. He was the total package, and he sadly passed away this past Friday at the young age of 50. So that was a very unexpected loss, and my heart goes out to his family, his friends, his bandmates. I hated to see that. I am so impressed with his abilities, and I loved seeing his video of Shadow Dancing. It was a song that came out in the 70s by Andy Gibb, who also died very young, unexpectedly. He has a beautiful version of that where he is playing the drums and singing at the same time. Blew my mind. So, you know, I'm very saddened by this loss. And of course, die-hard Foo Fighter fans are extremely shocked and saddened. And I understand why when it comes to a shocking passing of a band member you love, automatically those records by that band become very valuable. So I'll just show you the one I have by Foo Fighters. It's called DGs. That was their little name they gave themselves, paying tribute to a band that I truly love, the Bee Gees. And they put this one out here for Record Store Day, Hail Satin. And one side of this record is killer Bee Gees tracks. And one of them was Taylor Hawkins singing Shadow Dancing by the Bee Gees' brother, Andy Gibb. And it was an incredible song. I say check out the video of him singing that. You'd be very impressed. Great record, very fun. And over the weekend, it sold for $300, $299 to be exact. But as you can see here, this was a $24.98 record when it came out on Record Store Day. And I think for a while, some of the more rare Foo Fighters records are going to increase in value because sadly, that's just what happens. And just to let you know, this was a record that was on black vinyl. There is a bootleg out there, and I think it's on purple vinyl. Just beware, know what you're buying. There's nothing wrong with buying the bootleg if you know it's a bootleg, but this is the real deal. So just know the difference. Don't pay $200, $300 for the bootleg version of it. So that's one of the reasons why records go up in value when there's an unexpected death. And I know that very well from when Eddie Van Halen passed away. His album Balance and A Different Kind of Truth were already going for big bucks, and now they are really, really expensive. Now I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about a reason why maybe some records are going to start decreasing in value. And let me start off by just showing this one. This was Hotel California. This is the Mobile Fidelity Original Master Recording. A great record, sounds fantastic, and I love having it in the collection. I'm not selling it. I love it. It is decreasing in value along with, I don't have the Mobile Fidelity version, so I'm just gonna show you, this is an original. But think about this as being the Mobile Fidelity version of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew. This was a record, I think both of them were selling for about $250, $300 on Discogs. A lot of more people are now selling it, so there's a lot more versions of it you can buy. And they are decreasing in value because Mobile Fidelity has announced that both of those records will be one steps for $125. So a lot of people are thinking, why pay $300 for an original master recording of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew when they can put a pre-order in for the one step? So that, a lot of those one steps, when they are putting them out as the regular versions and then they make them the one steps, that hurts the value of the original one that came out on Mobile Fidelity. So, you know, that's kind of tricky, and I really don't like when they do that, unless it's a record that I really want that I didn't get the Mobile Fidelity version of. Then I'm excited about it because I'm already got my pre-order in for the Miles Davis Bitches Brew one step. But you know, I think that sometimes will hurt a record, at least for a while. I would say in 5 years, those records will probably start going up in value again. And if you are a Mobile Fidelity collector and you buy all of the records from Mobile Fidelity, it really won't make any difference to you at all. So I want to talk to you now about, I think for me, the biggest example of a reissue hurting an original's value. And that's pretty rare. A lot of times when you have an original, it's not going to decrease in value, it's only going to go up. But this is one that really made a difference. And I'm talking about Pink Floyd and this box set, Pulse. Before this reissue came out, the UK version of Pulse, I don't think it was ever for sale on vinyl in the United States, only on CD. But this vinyl box set from 1995, the highest it ever sold for on Discogs was $1,250. That's a lot of money. Now, if you want to buy a 1995 version of Pulse, it's about a $200, $300 box set. It's because this reissue came out and it sounds great. It's a great reissue. And it really flooded the market with the Pulse box set. It's no longer hard to get or rare. And to me, that's one of the biggest and best examples of a record that was once a really expensive record that has drastically gone down in value. So now I want to show you some records that have increased in value. And these are personal experiences for me, and they have to do with Record Store Day. So let me just start off by showing this record, Cheap Trick. This is Epic Archives Volume 3, the first of this series that I bought back in 2019. It is a great record. The track listing is wonderful. If you love Cheap Trick, you would love this one. And it came on this beautiful red and black smoky vinyl. You know, it just had all the bells and whistles. Great music, great stuff if you love Cheap Trick. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So A few months later, when I was at a record store, I was looking through the record store day leftovers from years past, and I came across another wonderful one. This is Cheap Trick Epic Archives Volume 2. And it is a really cool record. It is on clear vinyl, and it looks like a promotional copy, like a white label one, the way they did it. Just really cool, great music on it. I enjoyed Volume 3 so much that I wanted to have Volume 2. I lucked out and was able to pay what the record store day price was because it was a leftover. If you want to buy it now, it's about a $60 to $75 record, not horrible, but when it came out, it was only $35. So I had Volumes 3 and Volume 2. So guess what? I really wanted to get the Volume 1 to complete the record store day records, and that was a lot harder than the other two were. So in 2017 came out Cheap Trick's The Epic Archives Volume 1. Do you think I paid $35 for it? No. I wish. This one will run you about $150. I paid less because I bought it about a year ago, but it's about a $150 record now. So that's what happens sometimes. There is a series of records that come out. They start gaining in popularity as they're released, and the earlier pressings become more valuable. Here's another wonderful example of that. Again, this is a record store day example. Blue Oyster Cult. This is the Rarities Volume 2. It was on a beautiful blue vinyl, like perfection blue. It's like my favorite color when it comes to vinyl. And it has great stuff on here. A demo of Don't Fear the Reaper, Dial M for Murder. There is a really cool mono version of Godzilla on here, and one that really is very cool, 5-minute and 53-second live version of I Want You, She's So Heavy, and it was a tribute to John Lennon. John Lennon had passed away, and on December 28th of 1980, in a concert, Blue Oyster Cult performed that song in dedication to John Lennon. So this is just a really cool Rarities record. So after having this one for a while, of course I want to get the Volume 1. I never bought it because it is so expensive now. It's a $150 record. So I have yet to pick up that one because of the price. That's another example when a record increases in value. So here's a pic. You can just see this. Look how beautiful. It's such a vibrant, perfect blue. I'm not necessarily huge into colored vinyl, but when something is that beautiful, I'm a sucker for it. I do think that's really cool. Now I want to show a couple of examples of records that are now out of print. This is Taylor Swift's 1989. I now have just the black version of it. I used to have the pink vinyl version. I did a trade, so if you watch my channel, you know all about that. So the pink vinyl version of it is extremely expensive, as well as all of the colored vinyl versions of her original records that came out. Now the black vinyl versions are also getting pretty expensive because they haven't had a repress for a very long time. I really don't know why Taylor Swift records aren't being repressed right now, because Taylor Swift is one of the most popular artists. You know, if they're printing out in Adele records like crazy, you would think they would be printing out repressing the Taylor Swift records as well, and they're not. So it's kind of a mystery right now. Why are they not doing that? I know Taylor is putting out her own versions of these records. There will soon be the Taylor Swift new version of 1989 where she's going to re-record everything. But I think as Taylor Swift collectors, most people want all of the versions. They want the ones that they grew up listening to, as well as her new ones that she's putting out now. So this is a $100 record right now, what should be a $25 to $35 record. So I don't know why they're not repressing this it's a mystery to me, and I wonder what's going on. So in the meantime, people are losing their patience, and they're going ahead and buying this black vinyl version and paying $100 for it. So we shall see. Here's another example of a record that is going up in value because it is out of print. This is Beck, a Sea Change by, it's a really great record. Beck is an incredible artist. It is just strictly out of print. That's all. I lucked into buying this a couple of months ago because I went to a store and it just happened to be there. It just for some reason hadn't sold yet. But what was a $30 record is now climbing to $55 to $60 just because it's out of print. It just takes patience. And as vinyl collectors, isn't that all we got? We have to have a lot of patience because the pressings and just everything is so backed up. So another example of a record that's up in value now. And now I just want to share my thoughts on a record that I think could go down in value by Mobile Fidelity. This is just a theory. I have no idea if this will really happen or not. It's just a thought that I've had. The Bob Dylan Mobile Fidelity records, especially the mono releases, are very expensive. They're out of print. They cost a lot of money and a lot of time and hard work to buy individually. I think that this box set of the Bob Dylan original master recordings is incredible and sounds just as good. This is just my opinion. I think these records that come in this box set sound just as good as the 45 RPM versions you can buy separately from Mobile Fidelity. These are 33 RPM records. This is just an incredible box set. It is out of print right now, but I think it's going to come back in print. And I think once it does, it could take a little bit of the bite out of the cost of the Mobile Fidelity versions. Here is an example. John Wesley Harding. This is the mono version that comes out of the box set. Really nice, beautiful copy. Sounds incredible. It is just a beautiful version of this record. And the cardboard is thick. The pressing is beautiful. This is the Mobile Fidelity mono version of it. And yeah, it does have a nice gatefold with printing in it, no pictures. It's great. So either way you go, you're getting a great pressing. So I'm not putting either one down. I just think for the money, some people, when they're looking, if they're not collecting Mobile Fidelity and they just want a great sounding pressing, they're going to go for this box set instead of buying the mono versions of Mobile Fidelity records. That's really all I'm saying is this is going to give an alternate choice to the Mobile Fidelity record, and it might take a little bit of the sting out of the price of the Bob Dylan mono records. One area I think could actually continue to increase and be very expensive is the Mobile Fidelity stereo versions of those records. If you're a huge Bob Dylan fan and you want to get it all and have multiple copies of each, you might want to get the stereo versions. Records like this, and again, this is from the box set that I just showed you. This is Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited, an incredible record. This is a mono version of it. However, Mobile Fidelity had it available in mono and stereo. And I think stereo is a great way to go when it comes to this record. I think it sounds incredible in stereo. So I think those Mobile Fidelity versions of the stereo copies are going to continue to skyrocket in value, where maybe this wonderful box set might hurt the mono versions just a little bit. I still think they're all going to go for crazy money. This is a crazy collection we're in right now when it comes to vinyl. So those are just some predictions on the Bob Dylan records, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I always want, when it comes to someone buying a vinyl record and seeking something out, Of course, I want them to get the best price possible. So those are my thoughts about the events taking place and why some records are getting more expensive and others are becoming lower and increasing in value or decreasing in value. Please subscribe to my channel and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.